the main theme that is coming around is one, upskilling, changing the skills, and of course the mindset. So let's pick on the skills part of it for a few minutes. You mentioned that we have new grads, new people who join the work stream right away. But we again fall into the same problem of after a few years down the line, something new comes up, right? So how do you make sure that people in your organization continue to look at improvements, betterments, and are okay to change and evolve as your industry evolves, as the skill set changes for what it takes to be successful?
Maybe I'll touch on that first. I think this goes to what I was talking about a little bit ago about the mindset. This associate, I think you're also talking about the mindset. So as far as the mindset goes, we have this idea of a growth mindset and a learning organization. There was one of the speakers tomorrow, Mirko, did an interesting post recently about a learning organization. A lot of organizations and people will think, okay, I've gotten to this point, I know this new tool set, I know this tool chain, that's good enough. I don't need to learn anything else. Now I'm DevOps and we're golden. But that's really not true. The idea is a continuous learning mindset, or we call it growth mindset. So the idea is that you haven't picked up enough because you've learned one set of tools and now you know the new cloud, you know the tool chain for that, you know containerization. There's going to be something new that's going to come up continually. So the mindset we want to incorporate for people is really something that is continual learning. There shouldn't be an idea, okay, I've achieved this. And again, that goes back to Gene Kim's 3 ways, that continuous improvement idea as well. You'll find that in Phoenix Project, DevOps Handbook as well. That mindset is so core to everything in terms of Agile DevOps, digital transformation, all of it. And I think just touching on the idea of, I've been a developer for years, and I know I didn't enjoy the operations too much either. But nonetheless, I think that the better you do with automating and picking the places that need, that are kind of time consuming and automating those, the less people will have to spend. So the real goal of having somebody in development or architects helping in operations is to understand, well, these are the places that are painful, and we should put some time in to make sure that we get these, like Netflix or Facebook, automated so that we don't have to keep on dealing with this.
Yeah, I would endorse that, and not that we've gone through the full cycle, but I can definitely see that the first signs of as we continue to do automation, we have to be less reliant on people, because for the reliability to come, you have to drive it through processes. And most of the organizations today are at a level where they're establishing those processes. And once those processes are done, then the next level, of course, is for having a methodology of how you do things. Okay? And that is the level at which I feel that people would aspire to move out, and new guys would come in, and so on and so forth. As long as we have a rule book where we have a process defined, and then from there we come back with a methodology, I think it becomes more and more people independent, of course, with a high level of automation. The challenge right now is that we are probably at the bottom. A lot of people have different ideas of what DevOps is. You speak to 2 people, they have 2 different views. And that's where I think the struggle is. But over a period of time, I think this would only ease off.
So, let me not be the last one this time. Okay, so I think DevOps and Agile and many things are kind of buzzword to some extent, right? And it may be controversial, but from my experience at least, I don't think everything can be DevOps, and I don't think every part of the IT application can be Agile, right? Let me share with you my experience in that perspective, right? So I came from an SI background and another company which is termed as a product-led SI. So we did a lot of transformation programs, right? Whether you call it digital transformation now, or in the past you call it business transformation, right? So there are 2 models I've seen. One is with managed services, right? Sometimes you engage a software vendor or SI, and they also provide managed service. The other one is you don't, right? Client take over the operations. So let's look at these 2 models. In a managed service model, right? Usually in the SI company, they will provide their operation people, which you split into application development and application operation. So the AD people usually will join the projects or the programs before it ends, so that they know what's happening and they can take over. And they do want to automate and find ways to make sure the development is done properly, so that they have less problem when they take over the operation. So that's quite a good model. And if you map this model into the client side, the client take over the operation after the program finish, right? So it will be good, and we have seen successful cases where you bring the application or the operation people, both right from the client side to join the programs together with the SI, with the vendors, and then they will actually start challenging you as a vendor. Whether are you doing this and it will solve me operational problem or even continuous maintenance problem in the future, right? But that actually works very well when you have a package software and you have a lot of configuration management. If it touches a lot of codes in the core software, it can be challenging because you will need to follow the package software, the software vendors' major releases, which is usually covering global clients. You can't really change it easily. So in that sense, you can't really do too much agile or DevOps from that perspective. But in configuration management, I strongly encourage you to do that because it's really possible and you can meet all your time to market and you can automate things like that. So that's another model that really works quite well, right? And of course, the other thing is whether you want to look at the major releases and minor releases, right? That again, you need to work very closely with the software vendors on how you actually park your DevOps team from there. So whether the DevOps team comes from the development side of people or operation side of people, I would say that actually we can give, if it's client side, we can give chances to both. Because to some extent, if you are taking a package software for the first time, right, with the transformation, there are going to be new things to be learned anyway. And with the right mindset of the operation people, right, and the right mindset and skill set of the application team,